In Spider-Man Homecoming, we got to see an awesome team-up between Iron Man and Spider-Man. But what's better than a superhero team-up? Well, what about a good old-fashioned brawl between friends? We've got a taste of some superhero beef in Captain America Civil War, which saw Team Cap versus Team Iron Man. Ever wonder who else Iron Man has had beef with? Watch our video to find who made our list. For those of you who love ad-free viewing and free things, we're excited to announce the Premium Network. The Premium gets you early access to videos from CBR, The Gamer, Screen Rant, and many other great channels. Literally thousands of videos in one place with ad-free browsing. How sweet is that? Sign up for the Premium by clicking the link to start binge-watching videos from your favorite channels. Before we get started, make sure you crush that subscribe button.
Time to hit the button!
To keep up to date with all things CBR, you won't regret it.
Stay down. Final warning. I could do this all day.
The Captain. When it comes to strong personalities and sticking to your guns, there are none so headstrong as Iron Man and Captain America. Although they're both great heroes and can work together, Steve and Tony are no strangers to fighting each other. Cap usually ends up victorious in their various brawls. Even when he technically loses, it's only because he concedes and takes the high ground. This occurred in both the comic and film versions of Civil War, where Cap was the moral and physical victor, only to surrender and walk away, respectively. Good guy, Cap. However, a couple decades before that, Iron Man did manage a pair of victories against the Sentinel of Liberty. During the Armor Wars saga of the late 80s, Tony was on a tear to get all of his tech back from the government and the various characters they'd lent it out to. This saw him square off against Steve, then fashioning himself as the Captain, who was vowing to protect the American assets. This went badly for him, as Iron Man was able to take out Steve during each encounter. To top it off, he did it all while rocking the nicest mullet this side of Hall & Oates.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Hulk. Avengers Age of Ultron. Though Hulk sat out Captain America Civil War, he was able to get in on the action during his two Avengers appearances. His fights against Black Widow and Thor in the first film are a bit of a draw, but his epic battle with Iron Man in Age of Ultron had a clear victor. Thanks to the versatility of Tony's suits and some help from Bruce Banner himself, Iron Man was able to take on the Hulk when Scarlet Witch sent him rampaging through South Africa. Calling down Veronica from the sky, Tony hopped inside his legendary Hulkbuster armor, making its live-action debut, which we all can agree is totally awesome. The suit proved to be everything we could have hoped for, and it went blow for blow with the Hulk. Hulk doesn't give up easy though, as Tony whips him with an elevator, ingeniously traps his fist and pummels his face repeatedly, and watches as the Hulk rips off his arm.
Veronica, give me a hand.
Luckily, Tony has plenty of spare parts and money, the latter of which he uses to buy a building under construction to collapse the whole thing on top of the Hulk. After that, it takes one final punch to knock the Hulk out and revert him back to Bruce.
That remarkable metal doesn't run through your entire body, does it?
Magneto. If you haven't been reading comics in the past few years, you may be wondering why Magneto is on a list about superheroes. We suggest you do yourself a favor and catch up, because the Master of Magnetism's redemption arc has been a must-read. As the title of the 2012 series implies, however, even good mutants can battle it out with the Avengers. During issue number 2 of AVX, the Avengers engage the X-Men on their island home of Utopia to get their hands on Hope and stop the coming threat of the Phoenix. This issue, and a bunch of other interstitial ones, show various Avengers facing off against mutants like Cyclops and Emma Frost. Among these brawls, Magneto and Iron Man end up going toe-to-toe. Given Magneto's powers and Iron Man's suit, this may seem like an easy victory for the mutant.
I mean, it's not technically accurate. The suit's a gold titanium alloy.
But Tony Stark is always 10 steps ahead. Not only does he have a suit composed of carbon fiber tubes, but he's also been studying magnetism in his free time. This actually helps him summon the magnetic energy of Jupiter at one point, but when Magneto attempts a similar feat, he senses the raw power of the coming Phoenix and caves. Iron Man lands the final blow, securing the victory thanks to Magneto's mental lapse. And that's how Iron beats Magnet.
So I'm gonna have to hang on to your suit for a minute, okay?
Not okay. Not okay with that.
Wasn't a question.
War Machine and Spider-Man. In one of the most clever Secret Wars spin-offs, Marvel took the Armor Wars arc from the 80s and used it as inspiration for a world in which everyone had to wear Stark-designed suits to stay alive. Sounds pretty cool, right?
Gotta say, that's awesome.
Can you imagine you and all your friends flying around in Iron Man suits? The two best results were an armored Kingpin and Spider-Man, one Peter Urich who wore a spider-themed Iron Man suit with techno-organic webbing and all. Sadly, Peter wasn't long for this world as he was taken out in the first issue by an unknown assailant. The mystery continued for a few more issues, with Rhodey surviving as a Thor War Machine hybrid
You had to make it weird.
who oversees justice in the land. We eventually learn that Tony killed Peter because the young reporter had discovered the secret behind the virus that forced everyone into mobile iron lungs. Turns out Tony and his sibling rival Arno had been in cahoots, and they were continuing their father Howard's legacy, as he was responsible for the virus. Just like he did with Peter, Tony takes out War Machine.
Okay, what?
Ouch, talk about power hungry, right?
Well, I played 18, shot 18. Just can't seem to miss.
Hawkeye. We know that both Clint Barton as Hawkeye and Tony Stark as Iron Man are different when it comes to being traditional superheroes, but they both use a combination of tech and personal skills to make up for a lack of superpowers. As much as we love Hawkeye, he's just no match for Iron Man when the two go head-to-head. Given that they're both pretty hot-headed, and Clint used to be a criminal, they've naturally gotten into a few tussles. The two most notable instances are actually Hawkeye's first appearance in Marvel Comics. Ironically, it's Iron Man who inspires Hawkeye to become a costume hero.
Better clench up, Legolas.
From there, the Archer makes one mistake after another when he lets Black Widow, then a criminal as well, trick him into robbing Iron Man. Hawkeye and Widow try to steal Stark's tech, only to get thwarted at each attempt. Hawkeye puts up a pretty good fight though, using a whole heap of trick arrows to ensnare Iron Man in metal cables, corrode his suit, and trap him under a heavy rocket. Seems a bit tad excessive, no? Iron Man triumphs each time, however, as his intelligence and armor outplay Hawkeye's marksmanship. The fighting didn't last long though, as it's Iron Man who sponsors Hawkeye's admission into the Avengers.
Not everyone deserves a happy ending.
Daredevil. Although Daredevil is a highly capable superhero, he's run into some trouble when it comes to Iron Man. He's in even more trouble with Superior Iron Man. Remember him? He's the slightly sociopathic version of Tony Stark who was created thanks to Red Onslaught's inversion wave in Axis. While most of the heroes and villains return to their previous alignment after the event, a number of them remain swapped, and Iron Man starts to use his smarts for even more personal gain. He's not evil exactly, but he's certainly not above getting all of San Francisco addicted to his new gene rewriting Extremis app. Daredevil, who recently located to the city, doesn't take too kindly to this. When he first confronts Tony at his new island mansion, the armored Avenger tosses Matt Murdock into the ocean. When they actually fight later on, Tony once again comes out on top. 2 issues later, Tony uses his suit to save Daredevil after Teen Abomination knocks him off a building. But before you start thinking he was being altruistic, he then traps Matt in the armor and wipes his memory of everything nefarious he'd discover about Tony. We'll likely never see this awesome story play out in the MCU, but hey, we can dream, right?
We'll write you a receipt.
I better not look out the window and see anybody flying around in that.
Falcon. The cinematic Civil War was able to mine action and pathos from pitting heroes old and new against one another. The results were even more intense given that we'd been following a number of these characters for almost a decade. After a few small skirmishes, the Leipzig airport becomes the battleground for Team Cap versus Team Iron Man. Falcon, as one of 2 flyers on Team Cap, spends a lot of time bobbing and weaving to avoid Iron Man and War Machine's projectiles. He gets away from Tony at one point thanks to the amazing Hawkeye-Ant-Man team-up. Once Cap and Bucky start to make their escape, however, it's up to him to stop the 2 armored Avengers. Unfortunately, Falcon's a little too good at evasive maneuvers, avoiding Vision's blast, which hits Rhodey instead. Once War Machine is grounded and Falcon comes to check on him, Tony easily dispatches Sam with a single repulsor blast. Ouch.
What happened?
The Incredible Hulk. Given Bruce Banner's anger issues, it shouldn't surprise you that the Hulk has gotten his fair share of fights with his fellow heroes, but you may be shocked to learn that despite his strength, he's actually lost some battles. One such defeat comes at the hand of Tony Stark during one of the Hulk's ragers. In a scenario that will likely play out for all eternity, it was up to the Avengers to stop their green friend. In this instance, Iron Man answered the call, trading powerful blows with the big guy. Hulk punched Tony into a semi-truck, tried ripping his suit open underwater, while Iron Man was trying to drown him. He even ripped off a chunk of the St. Louis Arch to use as a projectile. Now that's pretty epic. In the end, it took Tony loading an insane amount of energy into his armor to deliver the final blow that took the Green Goliath down. After that, Hulk reverted to Banner, and Tony's armor gave out on him.
Manchurian Candidate, you're killing me. There's a truce here. You can drop...
The Winter Soldier. Like with Falcon, Tony isn't able to get the upper hand on the Winter Soldier. That is until he's sufficiently filled with rage about a personal loss. There's nothing quite like an angry hero, is there? Though he changes his tune on Bucky once he learns of Zemo's machinations. That all goes out the window when Tony learns that the Winter Soldier was responsible for his parents' death.
This isn't gonna change what happened. I don't care. He killed my mom.
What follows is one of the MCU's greatest brawls, as Captain America attempts to stop Iron Man from killing Bucky. The fight leaves all parties pretty beat up, but Cap and Bucky look to have the upper hand during the tail end of the confrontation. Tossing Cap's shield back and forth, the two manage to weaken and enrage Tony, which leads to the incredible sequence of Bucky pinning Iron Man to the wall as the music swells. He then rips out Tony's mechanical heart, but suffers a chest repulsor blast for his efforts. Despite the tease earlier in the film that Bucky's arm contains vibranium, Iron Man's blast is able to blow off the Winter Soldier's cybernetic arm completely. As Bucky gazes at it in horror, Tony delivers the final blast that knocks the Winter Soldier down before he sets his sights on Steve. Talk about epic, right?
Lucky for you, we both work late. Unlucky, however, for this chucklehead. Iron Man?
Spider-Man. Iron Man and Spider-Man have fought almost as much as they've teamed up, with Civil War being one of the multiple times they did both. Peter and Tony's connection during the 2005 run of New Avengers initially saw Spider-Man joining Team Iron Man in the conflict. Pete's joining famously featured Pete unmasking on live television. Scandalous! However, the wall crawler changes his tune once he learns about Tony's secret prison in the negative zone.
Bad Iron Man, bad!
The moral implications of imprisoning heroes who disagree with the Superhero Registration Act causes Peter to switch sides, which leads to a battle between the two armored heroes. At the time, Spidey was rocking his Iron Spider suit after Tony alludes to threatening Mary Jane and Aunt May. Spider-Man ends up victorious in the first round, but things don't go well for him at all when the two heroes next clash. Captain America leads Spidey, Luke Cage, Ultra Girl, and a number of other secret Avengers in a match against Iron Man at Yankee Stadium. Though the combined heroes rain pain down on Tony, Iron Man is able to brutally beat Spider-Man, leaving him completely defeated for the second time during Civil War. While the movie version of Civil War only saw the two team up, maybe future films will have the two brawl it out.
Guys, stop. We gotta talk this through. It's good talk.
There you have it. How cool were Iron Man's victories? Which one was your favorite, and did we miss any? Let us know in the comments below. While you're here, make sure to subscribe to CBR and check out more videos from our playlist. Don't forget to like and share our video. Thanks for watching.